Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It's episode 28 of the Common Woman Podcast. Woohoo! All right, guys. How's everybody doing today?
My allergies kicked my ass today.
Yeah, you left early.
I left work early. I slept from I was telling Chris 12:30 to 6.
That sounds amazing, though.
Mm-hmm.
But it was like that, I don't know, that open mouth, toss and turn type of sleep because I can't breathe.
Aww.
I even wore my glasses, but Chris said I don't have the anti-glare.
No, yeah, so
right?
you can see it.
So I took them off.
So you can't see nothing?
I see you shaking your head. I just can't I can't pinpoint any facial expressions you make at me. So I can see you stupid.
So he's going to be making faces at you this whole podcast.
Yeah, and I won't see them. I saw your face. I saw, a little bit. I'm not going to look at him.
He makes the craziest faces, too. I'm glad you made it out, though. I wasn't sure if it was going to happen because I know how you get with your allergies, man.
But since it can't happen tomorrow, I was like, I have to really try.
Alcohol clears it right up. Don't worry about it.
I'm hoping it doesn't do the opposite, but we're going to trial it out.
It'll work.
Nah. Never that.
Definitely going to drink this.
Well, everyone, I am your host, Cortnie. I wanted to make sure that I get the introductions out now before I forget, like I almost did last episode. And I'm joined by my lovely allergied bestie.
Yeah, appropriate, Melissa.
Yeah. And my amazing husband. We're coming up on our 10-year anniversary next week. Woohoo! Babe. The enthusiasm between the two of y'all.
We meant it. This came from a low energy place.
Didn't want to scream and blow out the sound.
Oh, I see. My daughter's 4-year-old birthday is on Friday too. Fourth birthday.
Yeah, she's 4.
Damn, I already called her 4.
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, she literally almost is.
Yeah,
so
it's
okay.
like what, 6-7 days away.
Yeah.
She had the funniest conversation with Jasmine on the phone right now.
That was
She
funny.
asked
Did you hear
so
that?
many
I
questions.
heard something, yeah.
She was like, "Hi, what are you doing? Where are you going? Are you coming here? Are you home?
Perfect.
You're going
questions for a
out.
lawyer.
Where are you going?" Yeah.
Jasmine was like, "I'll come later." She's like, "Okay, fine."
Yeah. She's like, Jasmine asked her, Are you gonna do the podcast? And she goes, yeah, tomorrow. I'm sleepy. Oh, okay.
She stay wanting to take over this podcast.
Yeah,
though.
she does.
She's been wanting to get on. One of these days, we gotta let her come on for like 5 seconds.
I
don't know how that would work though.
Once she gets old enough, she's gonna want to be on it.
Oh, forget it. She'll take over. She's like, I'm the host now. Inaya. You don't need mommy anymore. I can see her doing that.
That's cute. That'll be like Willow.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Willow. She's so
I
cute,
just hope
though.
she doesn't come out with some freak shit
She's
like Willow does.
Yes. Have you ever seen the Red Table Talk? Well, you have, right?
I've seen like 2. I haven't seen a lot of them.
It's really good. It's really good. When you're not listening to our podcast, check them out.
Or not, whatever.
Yeah.
No.
You're gonna get angry,
I felt his energy. I felt it from here.
Oh, man. Well, this past week was, on the 10th, was World Mental Health Day. So I posted something asking what people are doing to keep up or keep their, what did I say? Something positive you're doing for your mental health. And I just wanted to shout out to Rebecca Reyes. Oh, I'm not ready. Hold on.
I don't know what's happening.
Well, I think I remember what she said. She said that she's trying to give herself like 10 minutes when she first wakes up.
Meditation.
To not look at like her phone or anything like that. But let me look at exactly what
meditation
she said.
Meditation is like the greatest thing.
You're still doing that, right?
I slacked these past 2 days because of lady issues. So I could not get out the bed. I've just been so like out of it. But we're getting back to it because it really changes my mood for the whole day.
Yeah. It is good. So she said that she's drinking water and giving herself 10 minutes in the morning to get her thoughts together. That's what she said.
Meditate,
so
girl.
That sounds good.
They have good guided meditations on YouTube.
Mm-hmm. And Michelle Alyssa said she's trying to give her thoughts to Jesus, praying and asking him for his strength to guide her. So all that is great. I hope everybody is doing well with their mental health. All right. So shout out to Sylvia for giving us part of our topic today.
Oh.
We're talking about chivalry and submission. So she had sent me the clip of Fantasia talking about submission because she had been on the Breakfast Club.
No, wasn't it Fantasia's man though?
No. Initially, it was Fantasia that was on the Breakfast Club, and she had talked about how women should submit to their men. And then I guess she got a lot of comments about it, so that's when she brought her husband. Yeah,
everybody was like, "Yo, F you."
She brought her husband. Well, she recorded a video with her husband just explaining it. So I'm gonna play
that first.
Do you want to do that first, or chivalry?
I think chivalry should go first
because it's a short, topic. So yeah, chivalry. I think I love that in a man. Like, I love for a guy to be like, open the doors, and
I do too. But you know what? You know what's so sad? Someone I had dated not that long ago was all about it, and I loved it. But it made me. I'm so not used to it that it made me a little uncomfortable.
Really?
I would never voice it. I would never voice it. I was always smiling, and because I loved it, but I was uncomfortable. I didn't know how to react to it, which is sad. Yeah, I think that's the saddest thing. Yeah, that you open the door for me, and I'm just like, oh wow,
a real gentleman.
Like, move the car up to open the door. Don't touch the door. And I was just like, I don't know how to react to this. Yeah, it was uncomfortable.
I know what you mean, though.
Don't change the guys that do it. Yeah, but it was, I was like, in my head, though, I was struggling with it. I was like, this is sad that you don't know how to deal with this. You feel kind of awkward and out of place about a man who's doing something that I think men should be doing.
I agree. I totally agree with that. And I felt the same way that you did when I first met Babe, because I was like, oh my God. And you know why I think I felt that way? Because of all the dudes that were just like not even comparing to that. Like no, nothing.
A lot of guys don't do it.
Yeah.
So it's refreshing and slightly awkward when you get someone that does. It really is.
Never heard it put
and
that way before.
I look at dudes a little different, like crazy a little bit. Like if you're not doing that, like if a woman comes in the room and you don't get up for her and let her take your seat, like I'm looking at you crazy.
Feeling about that. I agree.
Is it that really that hard? Damn.
I mean, clearly not for the
men. Just don't. Not all men do it.
Yeah,
they just.
Well, they raised by savages, yo. What the hell?
Rare breed.
I think they just don't care to do it.
Maybe that's it. Cause I find it hard to imagine that a guy doesn't get it. Maybe that they don't want to do it is another thing.
And there's not, I don't think there's a lot. I think the majority of men are, or at least the majority of the men that I've come in contact with. Like, if you look at our office, whenever we have, like, lunches or anything and all of us go in to eat, almost all of the men will stand back and let all the women go forward, which is very sweet. Like, they don't have to do that. I think that's because
Eric D-boed them.
That's true. That's true.
I don't think that was a regular thing.
So they used to just rush the door and be like, F y'all.
That is true.
Dan still rushes the door. I'm gonna shout him out. Dan still rushes the door. Yeah. He will not anything.
He never will.
But
Savage.
Do you remember the movie? Now I don't remember which one. I know the characters in it, but I'm not even gonna get into all that. She was doing like a 3-month rule of not sleeping with the guy to get him to catch feelings or whatever. But anyway, so he came to pick her up for a date, and she stood outside his car, and he was looking at her like, what the fuck it is?
Like, what's wrong with you?
And she stood there, and so he came out to let her in. Like, she was just like, I'm not touching the door. Like, get out and do it. And I was like, wow.
Oh my God.
I get it though. Like, some dudes gotta know, like, wake up, motherfucker. Like, you gotta do this. But I don't see myself doing that.
But that's a turn off to me if you have to do all that.
I don't see myself doing that at all. But I was just like, okay, I see you. She's like, I'm not getting in unless you do this.
No.
You be standing out there all damn night.
Right? And it's starting to get cold out here.
Like, what's wrong with you?
I'll probably
Like,
be in the car before you open your door.
So I asked if chivalry is dead. And
say that again?
Chivalry. I can't say that word.
Oh.
Can you say it?
Chivalry?
Say it five
Chivalry?
times.
Yeah, chivalry.
Chivalry.
Oh, shit.
I can't say it.
Oh, wow.
I want to hear you say it, babe.
Chivalry?
Chivalry?
Yeah, there you go.
Chivalry.
I think you're thinking about it too much. That's why you're fucking it up.
I didn't think about it the first time I said it, and I still couldn't say it.
Oh, shoot. Right.
So is it dead, right?
Spell it out.
24% said yes, and 76% said no. I want to know why people think it's dead. I should ask
because of what you
question.
guys were just saying.
Yeah,
Nobody
a lot of
it.
guys don't do it.
Yeah.
I wonder if it's because they weren't taught that from their male figures in their life, or
a lot of guys don't have male figures in their life. But
But still, though,
sad.
that doesn't mean that. My pops broke out early.
Did your mom teach you that, or is that something you just
I
did?
saw it. Well,
but your grandfather was a heavy influence in
yeah,
your life.
he was a heavy influence. So I guess
So
that
maybe
makes
men
sense.
who don't have that type of influence, like
Mhm.
if they're not seeing other men do it that are in their life close to them, then they don't.
I also think
Pick
it's
up
a
on him. I don't
cultural
know.
thing
Who
too.
knows?
Yeah.
I think it's like sometimes
Why?
cultural, because I noticed that certain groups of people seem to be more, but I don't want to single out anybody because I don't want.
don't
I might be
know.
wrong about that.
I don't know about that. I think I tend to agree more with maybe the male figure, or basically how females are seen in the household. Period. I don't. Maybe it doesn't even have to necessarily have a male figure there all the time.
Or maybe they don't have females in the house other than the mother. I don't know.
I think it might be the way the female is viewed in that household. Like, let's say, because you could have a man in the relationship and the guy's still an asshole. If he sees that his father's playing his mom out, beating her every once in a while, what do you think he's going to grow up and do? Not guaranteed that that's going to happen, but if you're going by that theory, then that's most likely what's going to occur.
Perhaps. Mel looks like she's thinking.
I don't know. There's too many different.
That's what I'm saying. There could be
that
so
can
many
go
things.
into it.
Yeah,
So
you
it's
never know.
whatever.
We're gonna
It's
have
whatever.
to ask
Who knows?
one of our non-chivalrous.
Oh, and she added a us to it at the end.
Well, that's a part of the next question.
We're gonna have
polls.
to tell them they're not chivalrous.
I like how you say it.
You say it fast.
So that'll
you
be
gotta
rough.
mess with her.
You
You
hit
know-
that L
That'll
real
be rough.
nice.
You know she
I
can't
can't
say
get
it
the L.
fast.
Chivalry. You put the L out there. So how important is it for your man to be chivalrous?
Ooh. We'll get it by the end of the show.
So
She said it.
88% said very important. 12% said not important. It's very important for me. But I didn't know how important it was for me until I met you, to be honest. Because nobody was doing it, so I didn't even realize that I was missing this.
Yeah.
So you used to have they just slammed the door in your face when they were walking in front of you?
I mean, we never went anywhere, so there was no doors to slam in my face. There were no car doors to open up because I was always driving. Nobody ever had a car.
Yo.
So, you know,
For real.
there's that.
That's still a thing.
So when I met you, it was like, oh my God, wait, you're a whole man. Like you have your own place and a job and a car and you want to actually go outside of your apartment to take me somewhere? Like what? Yeah, that's what it felt like. I was scared. It's a scary thing when you meet a real man. The way Mel was looking at me. Okay, so that was it for the chivalrous polls. Don't kill me, man. Don't kill me, guys. I can't say it.
No, you get me. You got it.
Yeah, so I don't think it's dead, but it's very nice. It's very, very nice.
I wonder if it's gonna make a comeback like the fashion does.
Like what?
Like fashion does.
So on that note, with like the roles that men and women play in relationships, I watched. Well, you got me hooked on 90 Day Fiance, And there's this couple.
It's funny.
Paola and
Paola.
Russ. Yes. And so I'm at the happily ever after. So if you haven't gotten to that point, sorry, I don't spoil.
You're way
alert.
behind.
Spoiler alert.
You're
Yeah, I'm
way
behind. Yeah.
So.
I'm behind, but if you're like starting, whatever. Anyway, so she is a model and she's very beautiful and she lives in Oklahoma with her man.
She's from Colombia.
Yes. And she wanted to go to Miami because there's like more Latin culture there and more opportunity for getting modeling jobs. So she went down there by herself and she was like, oh, this is great. So she told her husband basically like, I'm going. And he doesn't have a job right now, so
he's a broke ass.
He felt like,
Well, he had been the breadwinner for a while,
okay.
and he had lost his job. I forgot.
I thought he quit because,
I forgot the storyline, honestly. It's a long time ago.
I think he lost it because of her. Like, she didn't want him going, and, like, they wanted to get married, and it would have messed up the wedding or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, so when he was looking for a job, now she's working more. So now the roles reversed. Go ahead.
So he kind of was feeling away because he's like, I feel like she has the upper hand now because she's bringing in the money. So it's like, if she wants to go to Miami, then I kind of have to let her go. And
well, she also wasn't giving him an option.
Yeah.
She was like, I'm going to Miami. Like, it wasn't, let's sit down and really discuss this. It was, I'm getting the fuck out of here.
Whether you come or not.
Fuck it. Yeah. She wasn't. There was no flexibility
at all. She was like, look, I'm doing this.
I still think he was just the means for the green card.
I don't think so. No, I think she really does love him. But
if she doesn't,
why
isn't she considering him? I'm sorry.
She's selfish. It could just be her and a cultural thing. Yeah, I do.
You think so?
Yeah, I think she really does love him.
I don't know. I haven't watched the show, so I can't really say.
Yeah. Because it's not even like she talks about him all the time. Like, she's always telling her friends about, him and the people that she's working for in the agency. She's talking about him, and like, it's just a respect thing. I think that's lacking. Like, she doesn't have respect for him in a certain way.
So did he establish that in the show?
I don't know.
That he deserves respect. Well, he should have respect. Whatever,
Not really. I mean, in tiny little baby steps. He gets a little better, but she runs it. It just is. Yeah. There's always someone who's stronger, and she has the stronger and bossier personality than he does, so she trumps him.
Well,
it just is. Exactly.
Say it.
I'm not gonna say it. But there's cultural differences. Yeah. A lot of Latin men are more with that machismo attitude, and she's probably more used to that, and he doesn't have that. So when you're fiery like that, you walk. You're just gonna walk.
Yeah.
So it is what it is.
Yeah. I just wonder how that makes you feel as a man, like when that happens, when the roles, I guess, switch in a way, because
what, like the man's not making money anymore? I would be good with that, babe. You can make all the money. I got no problem with it. I'd be the soccer daddy.
So it doesn't make you feel any less of a man?
Not
it doesn't make you feel like you're not the head of the household anymore?
A man is not the income. It's what he could bring to the table.
Oh,
I still think it's gonna affect the relationship in the long run.
For
down
them?
The line.
Or for in general?
In general.
I don't. For me, I can speak for me. That wouldn't bother me. If she made more money than me, I could care less.
Yeah. But if she's working, making everything, and you're not
at all,
she might eventually resent you. It's just something that may happen.
But then why is he not working is the question.
Well, he's got a very specialized career, like an engineer or something. I'm saying, and there's like very few and far between jobs where he was, and there's like next to nothing, according to him, in Miami. So he's got to go where the jobs are, pretty much.
No, but I'm saying, like, even in a regular relationship that's not that one, if you don't have a job and there's a reason for it, like a legit reason, I could see that.
Yeah.
But if you don't have a job because you're being a lazy ass, then yeah, I could see why she's gonna get pissed off with you and be like, yo, what the, I'd be pissed off too if I was doing all the heavy lifting and you sitting on your ass all day.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he's feeling a little insecure in his manhood
But
right now.
apparently,
Or
from what you guys are saying,
that
he
point.
always felt that way.
Yeah. Oh well, can't do nothing about that now. So going with the different roles in a relationship, this is where the submission aspect comes in. So I asked, do you believe a wife should submit to her husband? 39% said yes, 61% said no. So this actually garnered a lot of controversy among the people who answered the poll, which was funny. But I'm with it. I feel like a lot of people don't understand what submission really is. You know what I mean?
Is that my definition cue?
Yeah, I guess.
There it is.
I personally think some people. Okay, before you read that, let me read what Westland said. Because I also put up the clip of what Fantasia's husband said. So when she answered, hell no, submit for what? We would be partners. Out of respect, I would defer to him for things he has more knowledge of, and I would expect him to do the same for me. So I felt like maybe she thinks that submission is subservience. Oh, Lord. Almost knocked over my
Jasmine said the
tequila
same
sunrise.
thing, that she felt that him saying that he was righteous gave him the green light to just make the decision on any and everything. Mm-hmm. She said it should be split down the middle, but whoever has more knowledge in whatever the area is, you're gonna side more. You know, you're really gonna listen to that person and side more towards what they're saying, but that it shouldn't be based on that.
Yeah.
And that's her opinion.
I think that's what
I actually agree.
I kind of thought that's what he meant too. I don't think he means that.
That's what I said.
That's what I said. He's like, I'm the all being. You got to listen to me.
Yeah.
I think it's kind of like what you said.
The
person that has the more expertise is the one you're going to kind of follow more, because you're not doing it in a malicious way. Mm-hmm. By righteous, they mean someone that follows God. Mm-hmm. You know, not that I know what the hell I'm doing. You don't know a damn thing.
Yeah, absolutely. You know? That's how I heard it.
And I think he was using his relationship with God as a reflection of how, or an example of how she's supposed to submit to him, because he's submitting to his Most High. Mm-hmm. But let me just play the clip of him. Hopefully it plays, because it's been off of. Is it playing? Nope.
Mission is supposed to be a beautiful song and dance between two lovers. What's happened is men have abused that power. Forgive me, they've abused that gift. And we have been misled to think that it's something where it's a dominant spirit and we own every decision, we dictate everything, we rule with an iron fist. First of all, that's not love. What happens is, in my marriage, let me not speak for everybody, my marriage, I submit daily to the Most High. I stay in my scriptures. I continue to feed myself with things that help me build my character, to reshape my perspective that was messed up in the streets and dealing with different propaganda and programming and things like that, so that I can come to my wife from a pure position. So when I do that and she sees me and she witnesses over time that it's an authentic demonstration, her heart is moved and softened and compelled to submit to me. Yeah. What does that look like? That doesn't mean that I dictate every decision. I don't walk around the house saying what we're going to spend, how we're going to do it. We talk and we build. And I consider everything that's on her heart, her perspective, her position, her philosophy. I'll carefully weave that into my philosophy to figure out what's the best move for this family, keeping all of that in mind. Now, the moment I start to step outside of righteousness and I start to move from a place of emotion instead of analytics, she has every right to snatch that back, because submission is a gift. When she sees me laying at the foot of the Father, she has no reason to withhold that from me. The problem is this: men are not found in positions of leadership handling it with integrity. How you gonna lead your wife if you can't balance a checkbook? If you don't know what's going on in the stock market, you don't have a sound understanding of the finances, you can't create a budget, you don't understand what's going on in the educational system in your community that's impacting your kids. In order to lead, you gotta be so far ahead of your family that by the time they come to you with a situation or a problem, you've already dived into it, done your due diligence so that you can give leadership.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. A man come kicking that shit to me, I'm so fucking with it. I'm not gonna lie. I know a lot of my friends aren't gonna agree with me, but I'm here for all of that.
Christina was like,
for all of that.
It was weak.
I love it.
See?
I love it.
I totally agree. And I kind of
I
feel
love it.
like he said some of the things that Westland and Jasmine were saying in terms of like, you know.
I didn't feel that he said anything that was offensive. And I think that he made it clear that they
work together.
They share it.
They share it and they try to take on their ideologies together. You know, like they're one.
But
And I'm so here for that.
I think
It's a
people
dance,
have, the
he
problem
said.
that people have is that word submission.
Right.
They
You
do.
automatically think,
They do.
oh, I'm your slave. No, but if you listen to it, they're both submitting to each other.
Right.
Absolutely.
Right.
So no one's has a higher hand over the other one.
Yeah. And that's what Corey mentioned. I forgot to tell you that Corey messaged that in the Bible, it actually talks about how the wife is supposed to submit to the husband, but the husband also is supposed to submit to the wife.
Yeah, there's always I feel like and to me I feel like this is in friendships and in any type of relationship, and it's not on purpose, but there's always someone who just kind of leads a little more. It's just the way it goes.
Yeah.
I've never been in a situation where me and whoever else, friend, whoever, is just 100% on an equal line. There's always somewhat of a leader.
Right.
And I think in a relationship, I am okay with the man, but you got to be that real man, the way that I agree with that.
Right.
I would love for you to take the I'm tired of being the fucking lead. I feel like I lead everything. I would love to be able to trust someone enough to trust that you have my best interest at heart and you're going to lead me in a positive space. I'm here for that.
Right. And there was a second part that I wanted to play too that I thought was kind of highlighted more about what submission is.
You lead from your genitals. You lead from a gentle place of understanding. And the more
Wait, let me play it again.
you don't lead from your genitals. You lead from a gentle place of understanding. And the more she trusts, the more she can let go of things that she don't have to deal with and focus on the things that edify her. It ain't about money. We both hustlers. It's not about a dollar for dollar thing because we're one unit. Yeah. If I fall, she falls. If she falls, I fall. Submission is solely about trust.
Word. Word.
Yo.
Thank you, Fantasia's husband. Sorry, brother. I don't know your name.
Said too.
It is. Look at that. Right in line. So, yeah, I was saying before that I feel like people kind of confuse subservience, like you were saying, with submission.
Right.
So, Mel, our
That's
dictionary.
my cue.
No.
All right. Even though submission does have a fucked up definition.
Yeah.
So they might not be. All right. Anyway, we'll talk about it. Submission is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or the will or authority of another person. Subservient, prepared to obey others unquestioningly. Excuse me.
I'm not the only one, y'all.
I read it completely differently. Yeah. Prepared to obey others oh my God. I can't say it.
Questionably?
No, unquestioningly.
Unquestioningly. I didn't even know that was a word. All right.
Me either. We learned today.
Wasn't there a second part to that?
Not really. Well, there
was another part.
That's the definition though.
There was one that I sent to you in a text message that made it sound.
Text. Okay, my bad. I got your text.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Subservience, willingness to obey others. It's the same thing.
No, the second part.
Or the condition of being less important than something else. I didn't see that on the
I
thing though.
think-
Where'd you get that?
I guess that was I Googled it too.
She made
so
that
I don't
shit
know.
up.
I didn't make it up. Google as the reference.
The dictionary of bubble.
So yeah, I think that when people hear about submission, they think of it in terms of subservience, like you're not as important and I'm just blindly following you without question. And that's not it. That's not it at all. It's kind of like what you said, like, which I forgot exactly what you said. But
It sounds funky though. Submission does sound funky though.
But if you think about it, like, okay, now I remember what you said.
Because now we're calling it the superior force. We're calling it an authority over us. And no woman wants to hear you're an authority over us.
Yeah.
Or superior.
And that's a real,
so I think that's part of the fucking issue.
But that also isn't the definition of submission in a biblical sense either.
That's right.
That's like the textbook submission.
Right. I agree
with
that.
So it's like if you replace authority with I guess leader, kind of like how you were saying with relationships and how one person tends to be the leader. And I think it's a mix of everything. I think it's that, and I think it's also what Jasmine and Wesleyan were saying. Like whoever is more knowledgeable in a certain area or whatever will take the lead.
But I feel
I mean, think about it. How are you gonna lead something if you don't know what the hell you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. And
Makes
that's the same thing he said.
It makes sense.
Fantasia's husband.
You know, it's like and at work, when you have an idiot for a boss, what happens? Everything falls to shit.
Yup.
Right?
Yep.
Yeah, there you go.
But I don't know.
I appreciate what he said, though, because he said, and I feel like this becomes true when you're dealing with two people that are together. You guys take on a lot of similar thought patterns on things. You guys become one. You start thinking the same, and you start sharing opinions. So
you move as a unit.
It should be fine if someone speaks for the two. If you guys are, if it's important and it needs to be discussed, yes. But you guys, at this point, if you're married and together, you should be on the same wavelength where it should be,
Yeah.
I just think that in this day and age, which is interesting, I think women take on the leadership role in their relationships.
Yeah, for sure.
And I think that it's threatening to discuss this a little bit.
It is.
But a lot of women wear the pants, which is it's not a good or bad thing. I don't want that situation, but it's not a good or bad thing.
Why do you think that is though?
I don't know. I feel like the lines got very blurry. It's hard.
Okay.
I know. We're gonna bother people with this conversation.
All right. So we can't speak for everybody, but from what I've noticed is that the women who tend to take the lead are in relationships where they don't feel confident with their partner, or they don't feel like they're maybe man enough or not doing enough, or maybe they've settled into this relationship. There was another point I was thinking of. Because honestly, all of the
Let it out.
It's hard because I don't want to offend anybody.
No,
I don't want to offend anybody, but it's just been my observation that the people who tend to believe in submission, or even the people who answer the poll saying they feel like a wife should submit, are in what appears to be good relationships with good men who are, and I'm not saying that the people who said no have bad men. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying that, but it just seems like they're happier in their relationship. So maybe they feel like it's not a negative thing.
No, because I just feel like that doesn't have to be the case, because I know of a relationship that disagreed with it. That is great. And I just feel like maybe they're just very in line, so it doesn't feel like someone's more of the head in the lead than the other. It feels more equal. And that's why the opinion is it doesn't have to be that.
Do you think that it's ever an equal split?
I feel like it's equal between us.
No, I mean like,
but I also believe that I should submit to you. So it's like, I don't know.
I think the way it works is it's an equal thing, but like for instance with knowledge, it seesaws back and forth. It never stays one way, because then that's what today's definition of submission would be. I think it goes back and forth. Like what would they say in the recording before? It's like, if you have a specific skill set, there is no way, unless that person is the same type of thing, that will understand that or know how to work with that skill set. You know what I mean? That's like saying you can't you can't understand what I know as a nurse until you go to school and go through it. But right now you can't. So I would be the expert in this household on that field. So in that kind of instance, things will probably sway more towards my direction. Whereas with you, with the psych and all that stuff, I would defer more to you because that's your specialty.
Yeah.
So that's what I
think.
think.
So that's a different definition than what he was talking about, because it seemed like from what he said, like you kind of have to like be ahead of the game on everything. Like you got to know what's going on in your school district. You got to know what's going on here and be ahead so that when they come to you, you're prepared to handle the situation.
Yeah, but he's putting it in another way as well, where he's saying like in a household, I guess the way things were at one point is the man was the head of the household. You know, they shared everything. They had a lot of the same views and whatnot, but he would be the person that basically, how do I put it? I guess would pioneer it first. He would go out there and figure it out to make sure it was good for the rest of the family, basically.
Yeah.
Which is what he's trying to say. So he would kind of be the one to be the face of the whole thing. This way, you know, the decisions that were made and all that stuff will fall on him because he's the one that went out there for it. If that makes any sense.
No, but I'm riding with you.
I got it somewhere.
You know what I mean, though. I don't think it's a thing of one person having more power over another. I just think that it's an understanding, so to speak.
Not according to the definition.
Well, not according to the plain definition, yeah, but the thing is that definition that even he said is not a strict definition. True. That's a biblical sense.
It is the biblical sense.
Yeah. And I think, honestly, that's what the problem or what the controversy between it, whether you should submit or not, is. I think the fact that I don't think everybody really understands what the true definition of it is and what it entails, what it means on both the woman and the man's part. So I don't know. So I hope I didn't offend anybody by what I said, because, you know, I could be completely wrong. But yeah, you know, that was a very interesting topic. Very, very interesting. And I liked the way that he described it, and you know, it made sense to me.
He talked a good one.
Oh, so you thought it was game?
You don't think
it was game? Come on, spit it. Let's go.
No, he talked. They believe that wholeheartedly.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So it's not game. He just. For sure.
You know what? If
it's an attractive man talking that shit. Like if it works for y'all, go ahead. Godspeed. I don't know. I feel. I get it. I get what he's saying. So I'm not against it. You know, I was with someone who was very passionate religiously, and I was with it. I liked it. It's a different level of things. It's you know, but I get what he was saying. I didn't find it offensive. I get it though, because the regular definition of it is a little crazy. You know, but to me it just sounded like he's the man, he takes the lead, but it's talked about, it's still consensual and mutual, and it doesn't sound threatening to me. So I get it. I'm fine with it.
Yeah.
But
so what do you think about, or like, why do you think that women tend to take control in the relationships nowadays?
I don't know. It's different things. I think some men are lazy. And they come okay with taking a back seat if they need to. I don't. Sometimes it's just not all that. It's just that they just, all right, she got this. You know.
It definitely should be a partnership, though.
And then some women are just, you know, bossy and want to be
in control. You know, there's a whole bunch of different things that go into that. I think fear is part of it too. You're afraid to.
For some people.
Yeah.
For some people, it's fear. For some people, it's the trust. There's too many layers to what it could be. To pinpoint it to anything specific.
If you're a woman and you're taking control in your relationship, DM us and let us know why.
There you go.
Yeah, right. No one's gonna.
You'd be surprised. Some women are pretty outspoken nowadays.
Yeah, that's true. random and unrelated. Did you guys hear about that Amber Guyger case? The woman who, the cop who went into the wrong apartment, shot and killed the black man who lived there.
You gotta be the dumbest cop in the world.
Fuck that whole case. I'm so agitated by that whole thing.
That wasn't your apartment.
And did you hear the 911 call? She called in and she was like, "Oh my God!" She's like, "I'm gonna lose my job."
Mm-hmm.
Really? Mm-hmm. This guy's losing his life, and that's what you're thinking about.
Yeah.
I'm gonna lose my job, but I mean, justice was sort of served because she got 10 years.
Was not served.
I think it was
but she's gonna be up for probation in 5.
Yeah, this is just another example of white privilege. Yeah. At the end of the day, 5 years. There's women who are doing way more time for way less than what you did. Yeah. And that fucking judge gave you a hug? With like what? Oh, the fuck dumb shit.
That's what I wanted to get to. Are we even
talking about right now?
That's what I wanted to get to because that started with the victim's brother.
Yeah. That whole
like,
shit.
You need Jesus and, you know, like, fuck I want to give you a hug. And she needed a fucking jig.
I can't forgive anybody like that.
Fuck that. That was real okay.
That was interesting.
I'm getting
that was interesting to me.
Agitated on this mic.
That would have just been a way for me to get closer to you. You know what I'm saying?
And then you would have stabbed them in the
right through the throat, yo.
Okay. But he wouldn't have wanted that. Apparently his brother knew that he would have wanted her to find Jesus. Nah,
I'm sorry. And then dude got the eyewitness got like 3 days, 4 days later. Come on.
I haven't read about that. I remember you told me that. I haven't read anything about that.
I just want...
They said he was involved in some kind of drug deal.
The level of compassion that she got from everybody in that courtroom needs to be held for every fucking body.
Yes.
Yeah. That is in court for any fucking thing. Yeah. Okay?
Remember, we're human. Yeah.
Okay? Every dark-skinned person needs that same fucking compassion. Yeah.
Because you know,
as this bitch got,
you know exactly what the headline would have read had that been a black woman cop. Oh, animal! She's an animal that went in and recklessly.
She wouldn't have got a hug. She wouldn't have got a hug. Nah, from anyone. No, including that same judge. She wouldn't have got a hug. Yeah, I'm done. I don't know why we had this conversation. You didn't prepare me for this. I would have did some deep breathing before this podcast to tame myself.
Have a sip.
I'm not talking no more.
I just thought it was very interesting that
there was like way too much going on in that case.
I thought, you know, it was beautiful that he was able to say that he forgave her and gave her a hug. I thought that was like the super ultra high road, like way up there in the sky road. But
I'm sorry.
I don't know if she. I don't know. I don't know if we had to do all that.
I say we need to go Old Testament style.
That's right. You killed my family member. You think I'm gonna come up and hug you? I'll hug you and strangle the shit out of you. Is what I do. You know?
Yeah, a lot of people are like,
if he would have strangled her, he would have got more time than she did.
Yeah, exactly.
For that fucking life she took.
Exactly.
I'm done.
But why did the judge hug her?
Wait,
though?
but did a witness die?
Yes.
A witness got killed. The star witness got killed.
Yeah.
How coincidence
is that? Crazy
and then they try to say it was he was a drug dealer.
Yeah, right.
But you know what? Let me ask you this question then.
They all are.
If he was a drug dealer, why the hell did nobody find that out before he testified?
Because would he not have been able to been a juror?
Right. Not a juror, a witness. Because his credibility would have been called into question. Oh. So where did that come up from? Nobody noticed that?
Yeah, good point, babe.
That is called, oh shit, let's build up something because we shot him too quick.
Yeah.
You know? Should have waited.
Because that was way too fishy.
At least do 6 months before you pop them.
I'm done with this world. This is too much. Sorry, I brought it there, but I was curious to see what you guys thought about that. I would have liked a
warning. I'm so hot right now.
I mean, I was encouraged that at the very least, she was found guilty and that she has to go to jail. Yes, she's going for a short period of time.
Yeah, but you know what's
But she's going to jail. It's like we have to grasp at the crumbs we get.
There was, I can't remember the whole thing clearly, but I read in an article a while back that some lady was committing fraud. It was a black lady. She was committing fraud so that her daughter could go to college. So she did played around with the taxes or whatever. She's getting more time than this chick is getting for murder.
Are you serious?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm sorry, but that doesn't
Exactly.
it doesn't weigh the same to me.
I honestly am surprised that she
The judge
even
ain't
got
hot that
jail
bitch.
time.
Nah, I don't know. They gave him last time.
I'm surprised that she got jail time at all, though, because usually they get off.
No, something had to happen in this one because it was
It was blatant, like, and she called in and was like, "I'm gonna lose my job."
Yeah.
So
She spoke, on the damn phone.
kind of ruined it for herself. But
And the judge felt that bitch needed a hug. There was nothing wrong with that. The judge was like, "You are losing your job, girl. Get the fuck."
That's what she said.
That's what the fuck I heard.
I just want to know, like, what was like, why, like,
Why what?
how do you just go into the wrong apartment and shoot somebody?
Thank you.
She must have been twisted off her ass.
Exactly.
Let's talk
But,
about
okay.
her drug addiction.
Okay, but then I have another question. Was the door unlocked? Did she break into this apartment? You have to put your key in the door, don't you? Now, like, come on.
Something,
So
So
there's
it's
a
like,
lot of questions.
I don't understand.
Well,
It
let's
doesn't
say it
make
was
sense.
open still. When you walk through the door, nothing looks the same. You think you saw the same apartment?
Unless she's that twisted.
Well, yeah. Which
She
is
had
even
to
worse
be
then.
twisted, but I don't
Which
know.
is even
I didn't
worse then.
follow this case,
Because
so
if-
I don't know if we know.
If you're
her-
twisted, you're not supposed to be carrying your firearm. It's supposed to be in the station. So what you doing getting
don't they
drunk?
carry it?
Some states allow you to carry, but if you're drunk, it should be in a secure place,
They
not
carry it at all times.
on your holster.
They carry it at all times.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
I don't know, yo. But that
I didn't follow the story enough, so I don't
yeah,
know
we
what.
don't know all the details.
They probably didn't even check if she was. I'm just whatever. I'm whatever. I'm done. I'm over it. This is why I don't watch the news. I don't
Yeah,
care to know
yeah.
this shit. This shit
I watch
fires
it once
me
in a
up.
while. I gotta see something.
I don't want to see none of this shit.
I don't either, to be honest. I only watch
I'm
the
done.
news now because he watches it. He's always watched the news because he feels like you got to stay up on the current events.
You gotta
But
know what kind of madness is
if it
happening
was up to
outside.
me,
I
I
wanna
would
know.
not watch it at
Okay.
all because it's all negativity. It's all depressing. It's all just craziness. And then with our president, it's like, ugh, I don't even want to hear about it anymore. On that note, I saw this meme that one of my cousins posted. It says, "A tip for mental health. Learn to distinguish who deserves an explanation, who deserves one answer, and who deserves absolutely nothing." So let's keep that in mind for our mental health this week. That's all I got,
I don't know
y'all.
why you did that to me. I'm so
I'm
She's
sorry.
You still fleeing?
I was cursing crazy. I
Sorry.
just
You got like red in the face, yo.
ranted. Yeah, I look crazy.
I just wanted to know, like, if you guys would have given her a hug.
Yeah, I would have
I
Real tight.
choked that bitch to the throat. Hug the
I
neck,
think
yo.
that was very inappropriate and very insensitive. You don't keep that same energy for everybody. So that shouldn't be what you that was unexcusable to me. I didn't appreciate that judge.
Maybe she was taking the lead of the brother since he
Fuck
did it.
outta
Was it the
here.
brother? He did it first?
I think so, yeah.
It don't matter.
So she was just biting.
She's like, this is going to be a moment. I want to be a part of it.
I want to be on TV, yo.
It's affirmation time.
You know
The
what's
extended version.
You know what's funny? I took a picture of the page, and there's so many affirmations.
You
Now you
don't
can't
remember
find
which
it?
one it was.
I don't remember which one it was, but I'm just gonna pick one.
Go for it.
I am a magnet for God's love, perfect in every way.
Amen. I think
Since
that
we
was
touched
it.
on that.
I think that was the one.
Was it. So that's that.
Let's be magnets for God's love, folks. Oh man, yeah, we need to end this
If anyone's
podcast.
offended by anything, you can DM us. We can take it.
Yeah.
Speak
Tell
on.
us your gripes.
E for everyone,
All right, fam. I think that's all we got today, right?
yo.
Yeah,
Nothing else?
I'm done.
We're done. We're angry and done at the end of the
acabó.
podcast. Sorry to bring you guys down at the end.
Damn.
We'll have to have a lighthearted
Killed that
podcast
high,
next week.
yo.
So if you guys have any topic suggestions, please DM us.
I was just about to say it. I'm not gonna lie.
Were you really?
Yeah, I was gonna be like, well, if you got any topics,
Yo, it gets more and more like difficult to come up with things to talk about on this podcast. And the funny thing is, we have a whole long list of topics that we still haven't covered, but it just sometimes it just doesn't click. So you know,
I've been with such bad allergies. We're about to have an allergy podcast
just to talk about suffering from allergies. Babe can relate, you know.
Yo.
Anyway, guys, thank you for listening or watching. Have a wonderful week, and we'll see you and talk to you next time.
Wow.
We won't see you, but we'll talk to you next time.
Yeah,
Bye.
Bye. Tequila gone wrong.
We can even get the bye together. If you are enjoying the Common Woman podcast and would like to support, please like, subscribe, and give us a 5-star rating on iTunes. Also, subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you would like to contact the Common Woman podcast, you can email us at thecommonwomanpodcast@gmail.com or reach out to us on social media on Instagram @thecommonwomanpodcast and on Twitter @commonwomanpod. Thank you for your support.